All right. On this session, we're going to be taking a little bit of a moment to explain what variables are and how we're going to be just using them. From our high school or even elementary algebra, we might be familiar with this stuff, which is y equals f of x or a function of x. What it means on this one is that's where we have been introduced for the first time as to what a variable is. So in this particular case, both x and y, they are variables. What it means is they are just simply a placeholders. They are not actual values, but they do represent some kind of value in there. If I change this one rather than a function, and if I make it, let's say 2x plus 5, then what I'm saying is every time when I'm adding a number, then this is going to be just figured in the number of y, or the value of the y is dependent on the value of the x. Let's say if I give x as 0, then y would become 5. If I give x 1, then y becomes 7, and it goes on like that. As you can see, I haven't given x to be all the time a single value, let's say 8 or 9. So it would have been a completely different stuff if I had said this thing. In this case, y is pretty much a known value. It would be difficult to call it as a variable because we know we are considering like 2 and 5, and the output is all the time known. We might use it still as a variable, but just at this moment, it is more of like a fixed value. But whereas if I'm giving it like the previous value of this one, then we know x is a placeholder. So that is where the variables are. So let's take another example from the surrounding as well. What would be something that we have in the case of like the chair and the cup? Well, of course, both of them are starting with the C, but other than that, like they are pretty much like placeholders. So when we have a chair, then it is not predefined that all the time only a single person would be sitting on it. Today, it could be like Mr. A, tomorrow it could be Mr. B, the other day it could be Miss B, the other code, just it goes on like that one. So this is, we have the item, which is a chair, and then that's going to be just holding a different stuff. So in this particular case, the variable is what or who is going to be just sitting on the chair. And then the chair is going to be just simply a placeholder. So that whoever is going to be just on that one. Since it is not a fixed, a person is going to be just sitting on that one, unless it is in some circumstances, then this is going to be just a placeholder. A chair is going to be just a placeholder. So when we are talking about the chair, we are referring to whom he or the chair is going to be just occupied by. The same thing with that of like the cup. So we have a cup in our house, and we're going to use it for our beverage or drinks. And today we might be using it to drink water. And tomorrow we might use it for a juice. The other day we might be using to drink like some other kind of like a beverage, whether it could be like a milk or anything of that kind. So a cup in this case is a placeholder for what is going to be just changing or varies as a value today versus the other. We might have it like a coffee, we might have it a water, we might have it like for juice, and it goes on like that. So as you can see, like cup in this case is quote unquote like a variable holder, like a data holder in this case. So when we're referring to the cup, then probably like the value is going to be just taken out of like the cup, and that's going to be just considered as simply a holder. And that is the very concept of like the variables. And then it is very, very common in our day in, day out life. So for example, if I go to a simple google.com, and then as you can see over here, there is a cursor waiting for me, which is an input. So as long as I'm putting in something over here, then it's going to give me some stuff. So if I say flowchart, then as you can see, a flowchart is going to be just populated, but I have given a value on this one. So somewhere at the back of like this page, there is a holder which is waiting for this data to be inserted. And then based on what I have added, then the corresponding values are going to be just shown for me. And whenever you are filling up like any kind of a form or registration or anything, then that is similar case as well. We're going to have like a variable which can be valid, which can have like a different values, because this is available for everybody. Today I'm typing like flowchart. Tomorrow I might be typing over here on JavaScript or programming or computer or stock or anything of that kind that I want. And other people can also do that one in a way. So the value that we're going to type in is going to be just different but the holder at the back, we're going to see it like later on our flowchart as well, is going to be just a given variable, which will be waiting for an input, and then it's going to process it. So this is a very important and then a crucial idea in any programming language, So the whole idea of like the programming is going to be just in such a way, and we're going to incorporate it like on our flowchart as well on the coming video. But in general, anything for the purpose of like the flowchart, anything that we're going to be just accepting from the user, or a process from the given values or from the generated values, are going to be just placed on a variable, and then that's the important concept that I want you to have. As usual, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that yet, and also to like the video if you liked it so far. And then with that, I'm going to see you on the next video.